How did Causeway Bay Books' disappearance become a media spectacle? First, let's talk about the theory. Inspired by Baudrillard and Guy Debord, Douglas Kellner put forward the theory of media spectacle, which emphasizes on the interplay of social context, narratives, and the audience responses in the analysis of media events and how people became spectators driven by sentiments. So, let's put this event in the eye of this triangle. What happened in this event? Briefly speaking, the event refers to a series of disappearances involving 5 staff of Causeway Bay Books since October 2015. There were widespread suspicions that the missing was in detention in mainland China. And from January 2016, Chinese authorities gradually confirmed that they had been taken into custody. Up to now, all of the 5 missing people had appeared in open interview on TV. One of them was under arrested. However, the other 4 refused to speak more about their missing, which makes the whole event still mysterious. Now let's dig into the social context, the narratives in TV, and the responses of audiences around this event. Speaking of context, there are 3 factors to be concerned. Firstly, geographic boundaries had been blurred as an impact of globalization. Hong Kong, as a global city, witnessed a decrease of national identities. According to statistics, a growing number of citizens in Hong Kong are more willing to identify themselves as Hong Kongers rather than Chinese. Secondly, the localization discourse of Hong Kong as a post-colonial city after the Cold War, facing up to a tension between globalization and localization, was constructed on an anti-China discourse. The rebel against Chinese ideology expanded to the discrimination against people came from mainland China. From 2009 to 2011, activities excluding different types of mainlanders coming to or living in Hong Kong were conducted step by step. Thirdly, as Chinese Cultural Revolution and Tiananmen incidents shocked the society, the alert of the authoritarian politics continues from generation to generation and was highly strengthened after the recent umbrella movement. How about the narratives in TV of this incident? Here is a timeline of the key interviews released from January to March in 2016. In January 5th, a local media of Hong Kong released 3 cuts of an informal interview of Li Bo after 4 members of his bookstore had disappeared. In the interview, Li Bo talked frankly about the half-truth content of the political publications and the high profit of it, and the profit would not mainly come from the sales in Causeway Bay bookstore. Also, he showed the suspicion of secret monitoring conducted by Chinese authorities and indifference of the entrance restriction for him of mainland China. However, in the first open interview he appeared after his disappearance, although the tone changed little, he oppositely embraced the Chinese ideological propaganda, saying the books he published and sold were nonsense, and his admiration of the development and civilization in mainland China. In his last open interview relating to the event, Li Bo said he had told the whole story and would not accept any interviews ever after. Between the former 2 interviews of Li Bo, there were 2 other related broadcasts released by the media of authorities. In January the 17th, Gui Minghai confessed his crime of a car accident in 2003. In the video, Gui appeared in different clothes hairstyle in few minutes. Although the visual angle was the same, the lighting was quite different. Also, the long take of the crying mother of the girl died in the car accident rendered the atmosphere of miserable and make the audiences believe that Gui deserved the punishment. In another video released in February 28th, Gui confessed his crime of illegal publication, and the other 3 members of the bookshop also confessed their role as accomplices in the crime and showed their regret of following Gui. According to the 3 levels of visual analysis, regarding the context and the basic condition of the videos we've mentioned as the big picture, the most obvious characteristics of these videos were their paradoxical and inconsistent. The video actually brings up more mysterious, which would contribute to the popular conspiracy theories. Then, how people react to these narratives of this event? Generally, there appeared mainly 2 kinds of responses. The voice of persecution of authoritarian politics was loud, emphasizing how the disappearance confirmed their suspicion of the conspiracy of Chinese government and sympathizing the bookstore members for the torture they might suffer. While on the other hand, there were questions of the obvious convert of Li Bo after he reappeared. People began to suspect if he had taken any money or favor or had been threatened to do so. To draw a conclusion, audiences became spectators in this spectacle, for they could do nothing but suspect. The ambiguity of the events fostered their sentiment of anger, fear, and suspicion, which were likely to turn into the irrational belief in conspiracy and isolation based on imagined ideology. And in the circle of this media spectacle, which generated more prejudice and fear, the authoritative rule of Chinese government, the fragmented representation in media, and the weak civil communication were to blame.
我將記得面前黑社會的暴政，
曾經一晚已無視我看你更真，
還有弄我到站最前的女生，
草地跑過的